All right, setting everything back into its place. Here in the studio. I like to call this a studio. It's better than practice room. Here we go. This is the stool that I learned to play the drums on. This guy right here, man. I don't know, here. This guy right here. And it's all like Jetsons-y. All right, so what I'm going to do, I got to get the rug out. And I know, I got to build me like a... I got to build a... maybe like a platform. Because we do get little puddles down here when the water table comes up, as I've said. All right, so let me do this. Here's the rug. So, you know, I hate about these. They get all crispy and stuff on the other side. And I don't know how, like, potentially cancerous that could be. Wait, which way do I normally put this? I think I go like so. I think. All right, so let me get these. Got the gig coming up Friday, so I got to practice here. Got a gig this Friday with the band. What do we call ourselves? We call ourselves the MMJ&T. Shoot. All right, hang on. So about like that. Remember, I got my new Sonics, which I will set up. All right. So here's the floor tom right here, which is very nice, very nice. And I don't know. All right. Got my allergies are starting to go to town. All right, and I just put my modern rail consolette on this guy. If you can see it. So that's how I will be playing this today. I did it on the proper side today. Instead of when I installed the rail consolette on my Amber Visalites, which, you know, they don't come with them from the factory anymore. So I got a late 50s, early 60s one which is removable, which is very handy. But hang on. I put the legs on, or I mean the rail on the wrong side because I got confused. Back in the day, the Ludwig badge used to like face the audience on the top, but now it faces the drummer, and I totally forgot about that because I've been playing old Ludwig for a long time. Let me get my tom up, which that almost hit the floor. All right, I really do. These new Sonic mounts are pretty cool. They'll frickin' grip everything. Do you remember in, what was it, The Professional? Where what's-his-face goes, get everyone. The guy goes, who? And he goes, everyone. Because Rene Michaud or whatever, such like a good killer. He's killing all his cops. So he wants to get like the whole New York. I shouldn't do that. My back is on the verge. You know when you have a bad back, you know when your back's kind of on the verge. If you don't, you kind of know. There's weird little like earthquakes, not necessarily pain, but almost like it's just a weird sort of like, so it feels like a realignment. Like the vertebra are cars and they're sort of reparking. All right, so seriously. All right, so let's see. I think I have the bass drum tuned where I want it, but what I did was I had a piece of paper that I was using as a little bit of a shim between my tom mechanical pedal and the rim of the Ludwig New Sonic bass drum, because it's quite thin, but also too these pedals are sort of used to grab an old, really thick hoops. So I'm shimming it up. Gosh darn it! All right, hang on. Hang on. All right. All right, hang on. Hang on. All right. Get my phone out of the way. This is a Sabian I got years ago. I got it used on a kit. It's an AA medium thin crash. It has like the old 15, 16, 17 inch cymbals bell of yore, but Zildjian, because they're essentially Zildjians, or they were. Hang on. I gotta put these somewhere though, these cymbals. Screw it, I'll just set them on. I'll set them on the ground. All right. So let's see here. Do I have enough room? Is the rug? Hang on. Testing. All right. I think we're good. Yes, I do believe, except I need to slide. You know, sometimes the pedal's a little off to one side, just very slightly. Get a space on one side of the pedal, just a teensy-weensy bit. All right. Ooh, here we are. Thank God, I got them back. I gotta see. Part of the thing about a 26 is you get used to the rack tom being really high, which comes in handy for me when I'm doing like those the crossovers. I have a hard time doing them when the drum's real low. I smack my sticks all the time. But it's when the bass drum's way up here, I sort of have a lot of room to sort of do them, or the rack tom. So, I'm going to put now, all right, let me do this. I gotta get the hi-hat stand over. And so what I have on my hi-hat stand, well, currently, remember I left that Zildjian S medium thin. Sorry about my ass crack. Gotta tailor jeans. All right, so the Zildjian S thin crash. I'm sorry, not a medium thin. They don't. I think they make a 15-inch medium thin. Although they make medium thin crashes in the 16s and 18s. All right, so I have that on top. It's a thin crash. Zildjian S is a top. And the bottom I have on here is my giant beat bottom, a reissue 15. Yes? And I like how that sounds. Very reminiscent of the 602 when you get a really good pair of Formula my back. Formula 602 hi-hats. By the way, I think the reissue Formula 602s smoke the original. There's just something. I liked certain models in the original, like the sound edge hats were nice because they were so delicate. Occasionally you get a really good thin 18-inch thin crash or a 20, but thin crash. But the problem with the 602 is it's strange because you had the thin. This is back in the day. Originally you had thin, medium, and heavy. The 50s. Then they introduced thin. Then they put a thin crash between the thin and the medium, and then they put a medium ride between the medium and the heavy. And most of the 20s and even 18s I ever see in the originals on eBay and stuff that I've gotten are heavy. They're mediums and up, even if they're 18s. All right, so hang on. But these reissues, I saw the 20-inch medium ride that they brought to the drum show in 2010 when they just reissued the 602s. Hang on. You know, I'm not really sure. This actually might be, I think this symbol is actually B20, or B8, not B20. And it also, of course, as my experience with all the other made in Japan symbols, which are brass, it could be a really good brass alloy that doesn't dent. Like for whatever reason, they're like, well, let's make them out of brass that's cheaper or whatever. Remember, copper or zinc. But they have like a stronger, like a more ductile alloy, because this thing does not bend. Or, sometimes brass will dent easy. And I know there's different brass alloy. All right, listen to this guy. It's like to me it sounds like a great K, old K, if you made it had B8 B8 qualities. I'm serious. If you did the Pepsi challenge with a lot of people who like old Ks, they'd be like, wow. They would, in my opinion. All right, so what I have here, hang on, is, this is heavy because I have, hang on. I gotta get the clamp off, which I'll do. Oh, my back is making rumblings for me to not do what I'm doing, lifting stuff. All right. So, what I have here is I have 18-inch thin crash Paiste sound formulas. The original, what came out in 89. 18-inch thin crash is the old sound creation type badge, or ink stamp. This one's 1338. And here's a sound formula, which this logo I think came about maybe in 90. Now I think 92, because they discontinued these babies in like 94 or 5. So I do prefer the Frankenstein logo. So let me know what you think of this. Get ready for a little loud noise. To me, that's like a great specimen of an original 18-inch giant beat. I gotta be really careful about my back. So here's the earlier one with the sound creation type ink stain. Ready? Well, that was damn nice too. But they're different sounding, aren't they? Like they're both thin crashes. Well, I say that one was, that can't be 1338. No freaking way. What was it again? Oh my God. 1338? That's pretty thin. For I mean, that'll be heavier. Actually, that might be maybe a teeny bit heavier than a current 18-inch reissue giant beat. All right, and this guy, the Frankenstein, I don't have a weight on it. But the funny thing is, too, I'll tell you honestly, I never really noticed this because I never put the sound formulas side to side, the different sort of kind of eras. That at least this sound creation one has a flatter sort of Peisty 502 or PST5 sort of bell that they utilize now on a lot of the, maybe the low, not lower, but just sort of a more domey bell, like a smaller version, sort of an old Stamble bell. So that's where I think these bells started, and they worked the way if you like PST7, like the P, PST5, like the old 502, and then the 502 Plus, and that stuff. But anyway, so here we go. It's almost like a fourth. Da, da, la, da. Again, slightly different bells. This one is more slightly like a 505 or giant beat, but still doesn't have quite the same shape, but about the same size with some of the same characteristics. This one is more wider, almost like a, well, this one's like a giant beat too, actually. They're kind of both like a giant beat. This one's almost like a 24-inch ride that the bell, anyway, let me just get on with it for the love of God. So here I am. Ugh. Well, that took nothing to set up. Again, there's my Zildjian S series. Let's see how I can do it. Product placement. Am I commercially viable? For endorses and such. Doesn't that sound great? I have no real technique to fake show off. I don't even want to embarrass myself. You know what? I commented on Rick Beato's video about he wanted suggestions of stuff to talk about. I thought one might be a good subject. I could do it too, but he probably has a lot more experience, maybe with modern songs. Is having an episode of when songs really sound like each other. Listen to the Who's. Is it the overture or the underture? It goes bum 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 like that. No, that's the wrong. That's the overture. I'm talking about the bum 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 bum. So either if you're familiar with the Who, the underture or the overture, how familiar that is to whatever the band's name is. Green, the Green Tambourine song. My green tambourine. Listen to how similar those are. That's good to talk about from a music, the differences of the actual notes and chords, maybe slightly, but also maybe the legal ramifications, or why in those days they didn't really cry about it, maybe like they do now. And I shouldn't say cry about it. I want artists to get their cash. I'd like to get mine too, should I have another album that maybe sells. But also, too, what I said that one. I said the Who one with whatever that band is, Green Tambourine. Then I said... Sheryl Crow, all I want to do is have some fun. Listen to the similarities between Steeler's Wheel, Stuck in the Middle. Just listen to it. It's the same kind of thing. And then this one I just remembered today that I meant to put yesterday when I commented on Beato's thing is Just Like the One-Winged Dove. Whatever. Is that Stevie Nicks? I don't know what it's called. One-Winged Dove. And listen to the Police's Bring On the Night. Okay, so Beato, if you see this, Randy talks to him. That's a good subject. I could do it myself. But let's play the drums now, shall we? My allergies are totally kicking in. It's terrible. And I'm also putting on some pounds because I'm back to drinking coffee with a lot of milk in it. That'll put this tire on like there's no tomorrow. So we got this gig Thursday. See, I'm a little nervous now because I have morning hands, like morning drumming everything, so it's really going to sound. So let me just play. Screw it. Now, I'm just doing that because the drums to me, so the toms especially sound so good that this is so like Mitch Mitchell-y. I mean, it's so like jazz tuning, but just with rock, that's just so great. My synchronization's better. When I first start out, those are always off. Like way off. God, I used to do this thing. If anyone, I used to study with a guy named Phil Stanger, and he had, oh no, this isn't, he had the Montuno and stuff, but this is a different one. And I'm so bad with that independence, but I like to do it to try to shore up my hand and bass drum so there's no flams. God, I haven't done this well. I know it's embarrassing, but this is how it's really going to sound right now. So here you go. Oh, hang on. Yeah, okay, that's it. Let me get this a little closer. It's a thing that the guy in the video, when he taught it, sang, "I love my mother, yes, you know I do." I think that's really cool. That's a nice thing to sort of, I mean, you could change it to something. What I've also been trying to do with the flams I've been saying that I've been talking about, or I'm trying to not flam with this stuff, is not just my independence from my right arm to my feet or anything, but where I actually feel like I have some paying special attention to the dynamics, which is sort of like the next step of when you start getting some control, which this is really hard for me. Give me a minute. I will kind of get smooth with this. Slow and stiff, but stand by. I think those aren't really flam. I think we're good now. It is a little. Hang on. Let's stay off the edge of it like that. Hang on. I gotta play from it. Sorry. I know this is just a yapping, but I really love that one because what happens is instead of like you kind of get like a triplet. Do you know what I mean? I should do those on the snare. So that's what I've been working on. But without trying to relax where I don't feel tiredness, but still maintain some speed, like finding that ceiling. Keep the dynamics down. Hang on. Hear that? Ooh, hang on. Got to get that on. Getting there. Don't these sound good though? Go a little lower pitch. All right, so what do you think? Are they nice? I have my Indy 6.5 by 14 aluminum. It's like a Superphonic, but just with 8 lugs. I put these Leedy and Ludwig lugs on it, like I've said 1,000 times. But I'm really happy with the drum. Hang on, I gotta clean that up. Hang on, it's been a long time since I've heard it. Hang on, I'm going to do this. Somebody asked about this. Where's it go? More bass drums, right? Or all right, here we go. Now we're getting there. There's my blister coming off. So I gotta do freeway jam. God, if I have any time left, I think I just talked through that. 5 more minutes. All right. So I freeway jam with this band, as I mentioned way earlier in the video. Freeway jam, just Jeff Beck, and there's a drummer, Richard Bailey, that plays a cool beat. It's like a. It's like but you hear that? I've been debating, I've been going. But also, I think what he's doing is. You know what I'm saying? So let me just practice. Here we are in a practice, actually, for the gig tomorrow. Hang on a second. It's dead in that. Man, that's in the way. Ah, there we go. bad. Hang on. So they're sort of talking like blah, 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 blah. I got it. So I'm going to slow it down, try to smooth it up. Trying to de-chopify it. That's why I'll probably not execute it this way at the gigs. And so I'll just probably go. It's just smoother. Oh, those fills, he doesn't just so. I find those so not natural. Do a right-handed lead. I gotta bring it down. This is what like Moeller would be great for if I could properly do it. Get in through the door a little. If you... I'm denied the door. So anyway. We're still on. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. The drums are now set up. Oh, I got 1 minute and 7 seconds. All right. So anyway, I like the drum. Got the new Sonics. Got my brass, bronze, some bronze ale or possibly brass from Japan. My Tucson formulas. Oh wait, you know what's funny when you crash them? They're very similar, but their bells are not. I like to do this. Hang on. Bonham used to do this. It was awesome.